Hi everyone, welcome to our math lesson for today. Today we are going to be learning all about order of operations, and our learning objective for the day is that at the end of the lesson you will be able to use the order of operations to solve multi-step problems on your worksheet with 80% accuracy. To begin our lesson today, we're going to watch a short video / song that introduces us to what order of operations is. Remember our expectations while we are watching and listening to the video. It is important that your voices are off, and that means when your voices are off, your ears are listening. And if you'd like to sing along with the video, you may. If you choose not to, that is your choice. Then you can just sit and listen and watch. After the video, we're going to discuss some things that we heard and learned during the video.
Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add or subtract. Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add or subtract. It's the order of operations. It's the order of operations. Parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, add or subtract. Let's talk about it.
Okay, now that our video is over, I would like you to turn to a partner and you're going to share one thing that you learned from the video. For my EL students, I have paired each of you up with a English speaking student. So please quickly get with your partners. While you're in your group with your partner, I am going to provide a sentence starter for those friends who need a little help with getting their sentence started when they're sharing what they learned in the video. Now, let's echo read this together. One thing I learned from the video was, and where the ... comes in, that's where you're going to tell your partner what you learned from the video. Now I will give you 2 minutes to share, and then we'll come back as a whole group and talk about what we learned. Okay friends, now that we have shared our ideas and thoughts about what we learned from the video, I would like to introduce you to a tool that we're going to use when we're solving order of operation problems. Everyone has one of these tools in front of them, and let's review our expectations of this math tool prior to talking about what is on the tool. This is a math tool, not a toy. That means it should not be worn as a beard. It shouldn't be a mustache. It doesn't go in your mouth. It's not a fan. It's a tool. If I see that you cannot use it as a tool and it's distracting you and becoming a toy, then unfortunately I'll have to take it from you, and that means you won't be able to use it for the remainder of the lesson. Thumbs up if we understand those directions. Okay. Now, in our video, it talked about PEMDAS. PEMDAS, everyone repeat PEMDAS for me. That is a short acronym for the steps that it takes to solve these multi-step problems. So we've been learning all about multiplication, dividing, adding, and subtracting. Now, we're going to have to do multiple steps in a problem. What this would look like would be, if I were to say, what's 5 times 3? You would reply with 15. Now, for multi-step problems, it might ask you, what is 5 times 3 plus 4? So there's multiple steps, and it might be confusing because you might say, I don't know where to start. This tool is going to help you to decide where to start in the problem. Repeat after me. P stands for parentheses. Parentheses are these little brackets that would be around a problem that would say, do this problem first. Exponents is a step that we're going to skip, as that is something that we are not currently going to be learning and we're not going to worry about as of right now. So let's skip this one, but everyone can say it, exponents. Third step, the big M, is multiply. We all know what multiplication is, as we have been really practicing our facts on that. D stands for divide. That's our next step. A stands for add. And S stands for subtract. Now, as a quick check for understanding, everyone put their tools to their chest so you cannot see the letters. Please tell me, what does the A stand for? Addition. That is correct. Last one, what does the P stand for? Parentheses. That's a big word, but fantastic job sounding it out your best. Okay, friends, now that we have watched a short video that introduced us to our topic of order of operations today, and I provided you with a tool to use to solve problems, we're going to dive into actually trying to solve some problems. Now, the first 2 problems that we do, I'm going to do all by myself. All I want you to do is watch and listen. When I do these 2 problems on my own, I'm going to demonstrate to you the process that I use to solve these problems. Thumbs up if we get that. The second 2 problems, after I've done 2 all on my own and showed you how to think each step through, we're going to do 2 problems as a class together. This is where I'm really going to need your help to help me solve these problems. If I didn't understand what to do, I want you to help me and you teach me how to solve these problems. Thumbs up if we got that. And then, once we complete those 2 problems together as a class, then we're going to get whiteboards and we're going to get markers, and I'm going to give you 2 problems that you're going to answer all on your own. Now, when you answer those 2 problems on your own, I am hoping you're going to use your little cheat sheet here to help you remember the different steps. And when you're solving these problems on your own, this is allowing me to see what you understand and what maybe you're still a little confused on. Because at the end of our lesson, you're going to complete a worksheet on your own that has similar problems on it. And if we remember back from the beginning of our lesson, I read to you our objective for the day. That was that you're going to use your knowledge of the order of operations to solve multi-step problems with 80% accuracy. Before you even work on that learning objective with your worksheet, I need to know that you fully understand how to solve these problems and can do it on your own. I want you to be successful on your own. So that's where I'm going to use the whiteboards and markers as a quick check for understanding. Thumbs up if we got that. Okay, remember, when I'm doing the 2 problems all on my own, you're not helping, your eyes should be on me and on the board. Your voices should be off, and your ears should be listening. We should not be talking to neighbors. If you feel that you are not in a spot that you can do your best learning in, then I would like you to scooch quietly away from them to make sure you can fully be focused. Now, here's our first problem. We have 3 plus 1 in parentheses times 6. When I use my little cheat sheet here, I notice that I see two different things that this problem is asking me. This problem is asking me to add, and it is also asking me to multiply. But which one do I do first? That's where this tool comes in. The first step on our tool says parentheses. I see parentheses right here, those little brackets. So that means I'm going to do this problem first. When I'm answering 3 plus 1, I can either use my fingers or I can use our number line. And I'm going to just quickly use my fingers. So I have 3 and I add 1 more. My answer is 4. But remember, this is a multi-step problem, so I'm not done yet. Now I have 4 times 6. Again, I could use the number line, or an even better strategy that we've been working really hard on is our equal groups. I'm going to draw 4 groups, and I'm going to add 6 dots in each group. And if I were to count up all the dots, I would get an answer of 24. Now I'm going to do one more problem before we do a problem all together. When I first look at this problem, I notice that it is asking me to subtract and it's asking me to multiply. But once again, I'm going to use my tool to determine which one do I start with. Do I multiply first or do I subtract first? I see that 5 minus 2 has the little parentheses around them, so I'm going to start here. If I have 5 fingers up and I take 2 away, I'm left with 3. Again, I'm not finished as I still have to multiply. So now I'm going to take my 3 and multiply it by 10. For this time, I am going to, instead of making equal groups, I'm going to add 10 together 3 times. When I add my 3 zeros together, I get a 0. And then I have 3 ones, 1, 2, 3, and I have another 3. So my answer is 30. Okay, now it is your guys' turn to help me solve these problems. We're going to work through these all together. So let's start with this one. Our first problem says 10 plus 5 minus 2. What is the 2 things that this problem is asking us to do? Addition and subtraction. Great. But which one do we start with? Let's get out our tools. And if we look on our tool sheet, there's no parentheses, there's no exponents, there's no multiplication, there's no division. Oh, but there is addition. So we're going to start by adding. 10 plus 5, someone tell me what that equals, please. 15. Great. And now we have 15 minus 2. And our answer is 13. Fabulous job, my friends. Now problem number 2. Let's look at our tool to determine what 2 things this problem is asking us to do. It is asking us to multiply and it's asking us to subtract. There are no parentheses and there's no exponents. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply. And we have 2 times 5 minus 4. So we're going to start with our 2 times 5, which we could count by 5. 5, 10, thank you. And then we have 10, take away 4. Everyone, let's get our fingers out. We have 10 fingers. We take 1, 2, 3, 4 away. We are left with 6. So our answer is 6. Are there any questions that we have about these types of multi-step problems and using our tool? Okay, no questions. Great. I am going to have someone hand out whiteboards and someone hand out markers. When you get your whiteboard and your marker, I will have 2 problems written here on the board for you. And I would like you to answer those 2 problems. Once you have finished answering those 2 problems, I need you to give me a quick little hand raise and I will come over and check on your answers. Remember, we're doing these problems all on our own because it's telling me what you know from what we learned today. And if there's something you're confused on, I want to be there to help you and clear up any confusion you have. 2 thumbs up if we got those directions. Okay. Once I have said your answers are good and you can put your whiteboard and marker away, you will be working on your independent worksheet. All on your own, you're working on this. Once you have completed your worksheet and a partner has completed their worksheet, pair up with each other to compare answers. And I want you to work with someone else after you've come up with your own answers to see if you got the same answers, and if you did, then you're on the right track. If you didn't, then each of you should communicate with each other about, well, I did this first, and see where the misconceptions are and maybe where someone went wrong. Double thumbs up if we got that. Okay, whiteboards are being handed out, markers are being handed out, our voices are off. I will write the 2 problems on the board for you, and then you may begin. For my EL students, once you have finished your 2 problems on your whiteboard, I would like you to come meet me at the small group table.